I wanted a lofty space and I wanted a place that was like an oasis for people to heal through movement.
That is beautiful. Welcome to the Art of Kaizen for Entrepreneurs, growing 1% everyday podcast. Today, we have Myriam Paletti, the owner of the Loft in Toronto, Ontario. For the last 27 years, Myriam has been helping people with their movement by using Pilates, Feldenkrais, a certification in Aldoa, nervous system regulation, and mindset coaching. She brought all of this together to help people move better, feel better, and make their lives 1% better every single day. Excited to talk to Myriam about her experience developing her studio and her story of creating such a successful business. Thank you, Myriam, for joining me today.
Thank you, Kyle.
I get to talk
Thank
to
you
as many Canadians as I'd like, but how is it up there in Canada? Are you guys freezing? Or are you enjoying the summer? What's it like right now?
It's a summer day.
Yeah,
it's
I definitely have not seen enough of Canada because all I can think of is just bears in the snow. But you have brought something into that area that helping people move better, no matter if it's summertime or wintertime, but just this combination of really the mindfulness, the practice of movement in your body, and multiple different angles of knowledge and certifications that you've gone through to help people move better and feel better. Can you give me a breakdown of where your training comes from, your background, and how you got the Loft to where it is today in business?
Okay. So very simply put, I was a bilingual executive assistant. I'm from France, but I was working for a national newspaper here. And I have a scoliosis. I was diagnosed with a scoliosis at the age of 12, and sitting really made everything worse. And I started the Loft as a way to avoid spinal fusion surgery for myself, actually. So I started with Pilates first, and at the same time, I was working with a practitioner that was teaching Feldenkrais, which is learning how to learn. And I did a combination of those two things, and Pilates really took a priority because I fell in love with the method. I also fell in love with the rehabilitative and the restorative side of it. I wasn't very functional. There's a lot of things I couldn't do. So from that stemmed out the Loft. I wanted a lofty space, and I wanted a place that was like an oasis for people to heal through movement.
That is beautiful. I love that. And talk to me a little bit further through that development, because obviously you find Pilates, you find on the initial concept of how you should move it, how it's going to help you as an individual. But then there's a whole process of making it into a business entity and then getting the internal confidence in yourself to make sure not only were you doing it right, but you were able to present it to customers correctly and sell it to customers. Can you talk to a little bit about that development of the business, how you took that leap of faith to start being an entrepreneur that a lot of people are scared to do?
Okay. Well, many moons ago, when you did a Pilates certification, it was a long process. It wasn't a 2 days over the internet and you didn't see any clients. You had to do hours and hours of personal development for yourself, practices, but you had to bring guinea pigs for free and teach them and practice all this. And you needed countless hours. I think it was about 150 in each categories of hours of observation, watching your master trainer work. And through this, I realized that I was not the only one that was suffering of chronic back pain, and that I wasn't the only one that had injuries. I had so many issues in my body that I could see other people were having. And not all of them at once, but then I thought this is good for everyone, for my sister, my mother. I wanted everybody to do it. And this is where it stemmed from.
I love it. So just a desire to help. I'm just a desire to help as many.
Desire to help me to avoid surgery, but helping others because it worked so well. The method itself, the way it was taught, Pilates a long time ago was a very intensive program. You had to learn anatomy, the university level. The person that was teaching us was actually a massage therapist, so lots of hands-on technique. And my anatomy teacher was a ROFR, manipulation of connective tissues. So I started just entering that world, and I entered the world of healing. It was not just movement or Pilates. It was like, well, how do you heal? How is it something non-functional can become functional, or how we were all functional at one point? How do we lose it? But how do we gain it back? And then the business was just, I opened up the business because it made sense. And it started from my living room, and it became so big that I couldn't have 40 people coming to my house. My partner at the time had to hide into a room, and then I was like, he was complaining that we were losing our privacy. And eventually I opened up a location, and it became just unreasonably difficult to run everything on my own. So I started to hire instructors, and then it developed into something I didn't know I was going to get into, but it grew into a larger business.
I love that.
Eventually.
And especially for the fact that it's proof of concept, that you started with the desire to help people and in your living room. But it's a great note of you're diving into your education. How much did that education of the body and the muscle tissue and like the structure of how to move a body correctly to be successful, was there any studying in the concept of business, or was that really secondary in the fact that you just wanted to help people?
No, business side, it was only what I knew how to do. I was a bilingual executive assistant for a big, large, newspaper, a national newspaper. So I had worked for other companies, so I knew a little bit about managing things, but it's a little different when everything is on you. At one point, I hired a business consultant, because when it became 9 instructors, 3 a full-time front desk person, and then part-timers, and I didn't know how to run the business actually, and I hired a consultant that worked with me for about 6 months and would come and see what I did and help me put procedures in place and turn it into a legitimate business.
So the support, real mentorship in the sense of business to guide you on what was needed for operations, I'm assuming in the background, because you knew Pilates, you knew how to help people, you knew the movement side, but what did you feel like was your biggest hole in the understanding of the business side that was different than what you were actually doing to service your customers?
Everything went really well, to be honest with you. I realized I had a bit of a natural knack for it until social media came in. When everything shifted into more the digital world, that's when I felt like I was just losing track of everything. I thought that phase was extremely difficult. And to be honest with you, many of my colleagues that had studios would just close their doors at that point. Because my generation, you would put an advertisement in a local newspaper, local magazines. I would do things around in the community, and I would fill up a studio in no time. But eventually it changed. And it changed as well when Pilates took a bit of a bad turn with the physiotherapist. And a lot of physiotherapists relied on Pilates to help their clients, but then they started seeing injuries from Pilates because the education changed. People needed, especially gyms, it became a trend, and everybody wanted more instructor, faster, and the certification started to become very lousy, if I may say myself. I mean, there was no hours of observation. Some people never even saw one client before they started teaching. They had no idea about the contraindication, how to evaluate, assess somebody to choose the best program for them. It was more like a method. This is your level 1, your level 2, your level 3. Okay, let's put everybody through this. And that works as a business model. But in terms of, for me, the business was always secondary. It was just a byproduct of my passion, which was teaching and teaching people how to move in a way that benefits them in their health and their activities.
Some golden nuggets there to unpack. I mean, Myriam, super powerful, and thank you for being as transparent as you are, right? First things first is the change in the times of actual execution, because I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that's more than just Pilates. I think that's the gym culture. I think that's the restaurant culture has done that as well, right? Like in a lot of different areas have we seen the speed and the desire of consumers, their attention span diminish to a point where they just want it fast, they want it now, they want it good. And the problem is that you can do things very quickly, you can do things very good, and you can do things very cheap. But you can't do things fast, good, and cheap. There's this concept of a triangle, and each factor is on a different part. And you can only pick 2 of the 3. If you're expecting it to be fast and expecting it to be good, it's not going to be cheap. If you're expecting it to be cheap, expecting it to be fast, it's probably not going to be very good, right? So there's this development in life that's happened in society that's created this separation of what I actually believe is let's say the original thought process of the details in the organization to get something done correctly has kind of been fast-tracked to get things done more efficiently, but it's left us in a position where it's like, we really don't get the best anymore. And that's very unfortunate. I think that's a superpower that a lot of, let's say, a little bit more weathered businesses, people that have been around for a little bit longer, have over, say, my generation, the younger generation, is that they really don't understand the why or the structural reasons behind everything that's done. Instead, they would just sign up for Pilates and do stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and think that's the business practice. But why do you do those stages in that order is something that you would understand, and someone that's just coming into Pilates. So that's one thing. If you're a listener and you're trying to understand how to be very proficient at the business that you're going into, do not find the people that are having fast wins today. Find people that have been in business for over 20 years and understand the reasoning why things are successful, not what the tricks they're pulling today to find success. It's a huge golden nugget for Myriam here. And then the social media age, right? Thing changes every 7 days, every 10 days. Social media changes, new trend, new this, new that. Doesn't make a lot of sense to anybody. It's tough because my biggest recommendation for you and all the listeners out there is what you did to solidify your business practice of bringing that business coach in and helping him see that is the same thing you do with social media. But the only difference is that's usually like a 19-year-old kid that's really good at TikTok and has no idea about business, right? So you're stuck between a little bit of a rock and a hard place. But golden nuggets that you're sharing with the listeners here. A lot of the listeners are entrepreneurs and business owners and things of that nature that deal with the same problems that you are, Myriam, of growing the business and the changing of times. But I want to dive into a little bit more about the Loft so people can understand the uniqueness that you have there. When somebody comes to the Loft and they're working with you compared to, say, another movement location, another gym, another Pilates location, whatever it might be, can you identify what's the core difference of coming to the Loft and going to, say, a competitor?
Okay, well, the Loft became a very, I would say, a boutique studio because it's not about the quantity of clients. In fact, I don't even do group classes since COVID anymore. I only focus on private sessions, and I offer group classes in other locations, like I would say chiropractor office, so clinic, osteopath clinic, that kind of stuff, physiotherapist. I present and I teach group classes then, but at my studio, I only do private sessions at this point. And the big difference for me is what is it you actually need that's going to make such a difference that your movement pattern can transform you. It stays, it lasts. You're not just moving. Anybody can do this. You can go to any gym, any group classes that just teaches a form, and you'll get some benefits from it. But I tend to work more with how do we make transformational changes that are permanent. And that requires education, teaching the client a little bit about their body, their anatomy, how their body really function, what kind of habits have they picked up over time. So a lot of body awareness, or simply awareness of what they're doing. And then also what kind of dialogue do you have with yourself when you're working on yourself? And so it's got so many depths. When I work with somebody, within an hour, they feel transformed within an hour. So after that, building on this. So it's a bit different than a mass production. It's very detailed and very tailored.
I love that because that's what we're used to at this current point. You join a Pilates class with like 30 or 40 people and you just expect it to help. Let me ask you this. Obviously having that one-on-one training is definitely unique in the sense of working with them, but are you working with specifically people that need help in movement? Are you working with people that just want to move better? Like, who is the ideal customer for the Loft?
Yeah. Okay, so at the beginning for me, for many years, I was really strong into rehabilitation and restorative work. So if you had a chronic injuries, scoliosis was a big, pretty much 80% of my clients had scoliosis, with or without rod in the spine, some mild, some severe. But I was more like, the studio was known for this, herniated disc. Like when I had more staff, this was our focus. We could help you get into a place of safety and move. Over time, for me, it's changing. I had the opportunity to work about 4 years ago to start with a very injured young hockey player that was just drafted for the OHL. And I started working with this person and I realized, oh my God, I love working with athletes, especially hockey players, because they put everything on the line. They are dedicated. So this is the kind of clients, they're not just hockey players that I work with, but my clients, I work with people that are dedicated to their well-being. They want to know more. They practice what I give them, and they're growing. So for me, I'm really interested right now in working with hockey players that want to become
I love
NHL
that. And
players.
especially, I mean, I truly feel like the world of athletics and the world of general movement practices, which I would put like just as a general consumer, right? I'm a bit ignorant to the differentiations of, let's say, like yoga and Pilates and things of that nature. But that would be, in my mind, a general movement practice where, like, I've trained as an athlete for 25 years now, and I have pushed my body to a limit. If I saw like a yoga class or a Pilates class, I train harder than that. I don't have any interest, whatever. Right. But the best thing I've ever done for my body was a yoga class. And I tell people to this day, like, yoga was the one thing that it took me one class to realize, like, oh, yeah, this is super valuable for me as an athlete. Like, I need this.
I need
right?
that. Yeah. Yeah. So I would say for me, everyone will come. When they come, they will learn so much about themselves, and they're going to get to know their body like they never did before. That would be one of my unique.
Really focusing, because you know how all these different forms of education of how to move the body and then how the body's supposed to move. I think it's very critical.
Body and mind and different system interacting with each other. We're so unique in the way we're doing
Love that. I wish I was in Canada. I would definitely stop in. I would use a class or two, because it's very difficult to find people that can help out, really, not just in the fact scoliosis is a big problem, and being able for you to have that experience in your life and being able to really be able to help people, not just with the experience you have hands-on, but your personal experience, right? And being able to support that problem is huge. And I think it's a major benefit to the world. But to be able to take that information now and be able to push people that just want to move better, if that's somebody that's older that wants to move well, or somebody that's younger that wants to move to a level of excellence, I think is super, super critical, and I think very important. I got two more questions from you, and then I'll let you go. But for you personally, Myriam, in your business for the last 27 years of you building up this company, do you have a story or a challenge, something that you can tell to our listeners here that changed the way that you see business, that maybe influences the way that you do business today?
I think I mentioned it, but for me, like the digital world, as soon as it turned into that, it became very challenging I'm not a person that does really well in front of cameras or does that kind of stuff. And it helped me grow in that aspect. It's forcing me to do this. I'm currently designing an app for my clients, but also, I want to be able to catalog all the things that like a legacy kind of thing. I've been doing this for 27 years. It's a long time. It's a lot of information, and I'm just trying to put everything together into an app. And I've never been the digital world for me, who had half a life with no technology, cell phone, and the internet did not exist at one point when I started working. It makes me sound old, but for me, the technology was very challenging. And I wished it was hard to also find the right person to help me with this. There's a lot of marketing people out there, but you got to find the right fit for you. I think I did find it eventually, but it's taken a really long time. And different phases of the transformation of the studio I needed different people, and it's learning. Things change fast, and it's learning how to change with it. Technology is making things move faster and faster and faster.
I couldn't agree with you more. And it's funny because we brought this up earlier in the call. It's like there's so many people that you can find today that are in marketing and advertising that can give you what's working today, or that quick know-how, or that little trick that's happening that they're leveraging. And there's very few people that'll explain to you why it all works and how it actually functions together, and what the heck is a CPA, CPM, what is these digital things, what are these tracking pixels. There is, my biggest recommendation, and I say this to everyone, it's one of the core values we have at our company, Kaizen, is let's educate first. Let's educate first and then make action second. These are business owners. They're the smartest people in the world. Myriam, there's a million Pilates places and there's a million movement places across Canada and the US, and each one is unique. Not many has survived over 5 years. You're 27 years strong and still confidently crushing and help people move. It is super, super powerful. But because of your understanding of the body and how to help people and things of that nature, the why. So I believe business owners like yourself are super, super intelligent. They just were never taught what the heck a Facebook pixel is and what these digital things are and what's the difference between a video and an image in the first place, right? So it's...
Kyle, I have to say, I took a class with one of my clients says to me, you're going to sit down, and I took a friend with me and she explained to me what Twitter was, Facebook was, Instagram was, and I remember when she was talking about hashtag, I'm like, what the hell is a hashtag? And she started explaining, and I left that meeting, it was an hour and a half, and I thought, oh my God, I'm not suiting for this. I'm going to have to hire somebody. So I'm telling you, when it came out, it was huge. I'm like, I don't even understand how to represent myself anymore. That was a huge difficulty.
Has it been a good learning lesson for you? How are you now building through it? How are you getting over that problem?
I had many attempts, many failures, and I started about 9 months ago to work with somebody that I really like, and she is doing everything. We started doing how do we design the app, and she started teaching me everything. If I don't know something, she said, okay, I'm going to come over and I'll show you, and she educates me. And I take on what I feel is tolerable for me for now, and I'm growing with it. So it requires a lot more growth than I ever anticipated. So it's like a different learning. It's not about anatomy, the body, and how the body heals. It's more about marketing and how to promote your business, promote yourself, your ideas, and how to make connection.
Myriam, I
technology.
Can, one, love hearing that you're going through that. And two, I can promise you it's going to be much easier than learning the anatomy of the human body. It might seem crazy now, but you start diving into it, you'll realize, especially with the right person, as you said before, having the right person in your corner to be there to hold your hand and not go too fast, not go too slow, and be there for you through the process is very, very important. And, you've brought up a lot of great points of your personal education, your desire to learn more, your desire to grow your personal knowledge base to be able to help people, and now growing your personal knowledge base to help your business and develop your business further and get your mindset and all your learnings the last 27 years out there. So I have to ask you, as my final question, how do you find your ability to constantly improve? What do you do each day when you wake up? Do you have a habit in the morning that allows you to get in the right mindset? Do you read certain books? Do you listen to podcasts? In the Japanese philosophy, it's called Kaizen. It means to take small steps towards a larger goal, or to find 1% improvement every single day. So my question to you, Myriam, is how do you find your Kaizen?
I wanted to know where the name came from, and now that I know, I really like it. It's smart. I love teaching. This is one of the things I love teaching, and that helps me wake up in the morning. When I started to become a businesswoman, more like reducing my hours of teaching and running the business, I got depressed. So it was very clear to me that that was not the way. So I love teaching. I get up and I meditate in the morning, and I believe every day I need to just do one little thing, because really it's what you do every day that creates monumental changes. It's the little thing, and I tell my clients all the time that it's those tiny little things that you think nothing of, but they build on top of each other, and after years you're a complete different person. So to me, is every day try to just do one thing that's a little different, just a little bit, and make it a habit. So it starts with the meditation first thing in the morning.
I love that. And I love the fact that you identify that the actual habits, your progression in life comes from those small little things that things that you brush off, the things that you don't think about. Once you change that mindset to make those little things matter and to take advantage of those little moments, you'd be amazed at how far you can push your life in whatever direction you want to push it. Myriam, you're
So
Kaizen.
it is
Yep,
Kaizen,
Kaizen,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what I think I'm doing without knowing
that.
that's what I was doing.
Yeah, 1% improvement every single day, or small steps towards a larger goal. And you are definitely doing that. I love it, Myriam. If there is somebody listening to this podcast right now, say that they're in Toronto, or they want to learn more about your business, they want to learn more about you, how can they find you? How can they get connected with you?
They can go to theloftpilates.com. That's my website. And then at the bottom of the page, the homepage, there's the link for Instagram and Facebook.
Absolutely love it. Myriam, we're going to make sure we have your website link below in the description for all of our listeners. If you have finished this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Myriam, thank you so much for your time. I hope the Loft continues to crush it and you continue to help people move a little bit better every single day.
Thank you. Thank you, Kai.